Okay, it's a Wheel Gun Wednesday.
Is that what we're doing?
No, one.
I'm like saying,
Sorry.
I don't really
Okay,
need to be here for that.
looky here. There's two things that we need to talk about here. As
Uh,
everyone knows, I live behind the pine curtain.
yes.
Now, that's East Texas for all of you that don't understand that. That excludes Houston, by the way. Anyway, two things that concern us here in Texas that are just amusing. Okay,
Mhm.
so let's get the first one out the way. That nasty little porn site called Pornhub. Right? Okay. You can't make this up. All right. Now, it's my understanding that there's other states besides Texas that require Pornhub to verify the age limit. Okay. Louisiana is one of them. And yeah, you have to verify your age. Well, for some reason, probably because of the population of Texas, Pornhub, they got their little butts hurt, okay? And now they shut Pornhub off to Texas.
Uh-huh.
And people are going crazy. Now, you have to understand what's amazing to me is it's only filthy people that live in cities. I'm sorry, I just don't know what else. I had an all night almost argument just on back and forth with some feller that lives in Houston who's trying to say that pornography is education. Sex ed, he said.
No.
Now, it's my understanding that absolutely every state in the union, all right, possessing pornography as a child is illegal in every single state, except in liberal schools. They kind of throw that stuff out there, right? So I remember, see, when I was younger or a young man, even, and me and my wife were talking about this last night, it was like when you went into the convenience store or the quickie mart, whatever you want to call it, 7-Eleven, they were behind the counter and there was a screen in front of them so you couldn't see them. And yeah,
Playboys and all those
yeah,
other things. And then there was like a cover in front of it, so you couldn't see
right.
anything of it. And
Okay.
you had to, yeah, and you needed
Yeah,
IDs and
you
things
had to
like
have an
that.
ID. You couldn't go in as a child and buy it. Okay. And then they had the same thing in the DVD age. There was a section in the back of the video rental places where it said adult content. Okay. Then along came the internet. Now, with the internet, children were allowed to get on the internet and look at this perversion.
Hmm.
And it is perversion, okay? And look, you can't tell me anything about it I don't know. I was a young feller once, and I really wish that I'd never, you know. But anyway, uh, these people are trying to defend this, and they're all upset about it. And I'm like, as far as I'm concerned, this is a win-win. Okay, it's uh, it's not going to stop any young man from getting pornography, okay? Because it's everywhere out there.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, they can get it on TikTok, they can get it on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it. There are some sites out there that True Social for they won't allow that on True Social. That's something you don't get there, and I
Right.
like that. But yeah, I mean, these people in the city, the disconnect between them and us is crazy because yeah, it's pornography and it's illegal.
Yeah, yeah. And the thing is, look, things like prostitution and things like that have existed the whole time in history of mankind, but that does not make them good, okay, something that your child should be part of, should see, or or understand, I mean, back in the day, even when our kids were still young, I don't know about our younger ones, but when they were going to talk about sex ed and all of that, you got a paper in your house that asks you
Yeah.
permission to allow your child to participate in this.
And that was just basically the birds and the bees. They didn't discuss anything.
Explain like what is the puberty and things like that to kids.
Yeah.
Now watch. That does not mean that you as a parent don't do your job and educate your child. Okay,
Yeah.
our kids. If your child is old enough to be asking questions, that means he's heard something somewhere, and you need to come in and fill in the gaps and not
Right.
say, "Well, you're too young to know about that." If your kid is asking questions, you need to be honest with your child and talk to them about it. Now, our kids started asking questions at a certain age. I don't even remember what age, but we talked to them about the birds and the bees. So by the time they had these little
Right.
classes and stuff, my kids already knew. Now, one thing that we did do with our children was, and it wasn't like we were graphic, we just explained literally the mechanics and
We
whatever.
never hit anything.
But what we told them is some parents don't want their children to know at this age or any earlier or anything like that.
Yeah.
So this is for your information for you to keep for you, not to go around sharing with other kids that are not prepared to see.
Correct.
And so this whole thing where every kid needs to know about
They
everything,
don't.
no, they don't. They not every child matures at the same rate.
I find it strange that it's always the dirty little perverts that don't have children. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
They're the ones that push this. Okay. And it's like everything is political anymore. It's red team, blue team. And it's like people, it's like the mainstream media, and it's just they push a narrative that is not only wrong but it's dangerous, like mostly peaceful demonstrations, all right, trying to make just all of this like it's normal. No, it's not normal. This is a disease that affects the large cities, okay? And that therein lies your problem, is the disconnect between the cities and the rest of the country, and it's huge. All right, it's a huge disconnect. I've heard people that live in the city say, oh, people that live in the country, they need to know their place. No, when you look at gun violence, gang violence, black on white violence, black on black violence, it's always in the cities. 99% of it is in the cities. There's something wrong with that way of thinking. All right. But, that's neither here nor there. You got anything else to say on or should we go on to the next subject?
Just you need to be
Protect your children from these
involved
people.
parent,
Yeah,
okay? uh I've heard a lot of people say, well, my kid deserves some privacy. Your child has no right to privacy in your home. Okay,
that's
I'm
correct.
sorry, but they don't. Why?
No,
Because that leads to things that cause issues in the future. So our children are literally next to us in
right.
this room, and we hear everything that happens on their
Everything.
computers and when they play video games and they talk with other people. Your job, do not forget ever, your job as a parent is to protect your child
Correct.
from every threat, including the weirdos on the internet.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was amazing to me that a grown man was arguing online openly about pedophilia and children should be able to watch pornography. That is a sick thing.
I know.
No. You can speak for your own children if you have them, which I doubt. But as far as for my children, the answer is no.
I agree.
Okay, so the next subject is Texas has passed a law. As you know, Texas is being overrun with illegal immigrants. Now, you got to understand, these are not just hardworking Mexican people like it used to be, coming up here for the summer, trying to get work to send money back to Mexico. No, these are people from China, from Africa. These are the criminals from Venezuela. And this is absolute truth. This is what these people are. They're not hardworking Mexicans anymore. Okay. So, Texas is taking control of its own border. Good for us. All right. Because this is outrageous. And the next step is within 50 miles of the border, is what they're talking about. We've passed a law that you broke the law. You are here illegally. If you did not come to this country through a legal port of entry, this is all this is, a legal port of entry. you have broke the law as far as the United States and the state of Texas is concerned. That is it's not a felony. What's the other one? It's a misdemeanor. Now you have a choice. You can be put in jail for 6 months, or you can go back to your country of origin. That's the law. Now there's legal ramifications to this, but the Supreme Court said, yes, Texas can enforce that. Mm-hmm. Now, some sort of a federal court is trying to override the Supreme Court, which you can't do. That's why the Supreme Court is said supreme. Its decision is final. All right, so Texas can do this. Now you have this backfighting because Joe Biden, and I hate to say this, but if there is a threat to America and America's way of life, the biggest threat to America right now is this administration. All right. They don't care what the people want. They don't care what states want. They're going to do what they're doing. Okay. And you can see them. All right. You can see it just how it is. But no, it's like this. It seems to me that this administration is pushing states to do things that they really shouldn't have to do. Mm-hmm. His oath of office was to protect this country from all enemies, foreign and domestic. Well, he's just inviting them in. He's giving them money. Do you know for less than a quarter of the money that we are spending on these illegal aliens, we could stop hunger in the United States and we could end homelessness? Mm-hmm. For like a quarter of the money he's spending on this. Why aren't we taking care of Americans?
Yeah, it's a lot of fiscal irresponsibility. Yeah. But look, the thing is, the problem is with us these days is we don't understand the long con, okay? We used to watch this British show a long time ago. And one of the things, one of the lessons that we learned from this particular British show was that you can't cheat an honest man.
Correct.
That's one. The other thing is, the whole show was predicated on then conning somebody, taking their money.
Yes.
And so what they did was the long con, right? So the whole show was about setting up when you thought they failed. Turns out it was the gain at the end of the game. Okay. This Democrats, the problem is that the Democrats or the liberals or the people that are in charge are playing the long con, you guys. Okay.
Yep.
This is not something that you're going to see the results of today, tomorrow. In a few years or decades, your children will turn around and go like, what happened to all the rights my parents had? Okay. Yeah. What happened to the ability to walk around free in this country? You will wonder why you're not allowed to say anything against anybody that is in power. And all these rights that you are giving up, that you are the Democrats and the liberals and stuff that just willy-nilly giving away. You are not understanding the long con from these people. There is something you gotta be able to look the long way and see what the plan is at the end.
Absolutely. Here's what I'm seeing, okay? If you still believe in Republican and Democrat, I'm sorry, you are an idiot. Republican and Democrat are in name only. Now, this is kind of like Thelma and Louise. A preacher told me this one time, right? This car that we're in, America, we are most definitely going off the cliff. And the reason we're going off the cliff is because everybody defines themselves. Their entire being is either red team, blue team, gay team, straight team, whatever team, instead of coming together. Okay. Now, the reason I vote Republican is very simple. Not because I believe that the Republicans are any better than the Democrats. They are not. I will tell you one thing. We're going to the edge of the cliff in the Democrats, and we're going at 120 miles an hour. All right. They want instant results. They're looking for this new world order crap. I'm sorry. They don't want America patriotism. Black Lives Matter, LGBTQ, all you people should be ashamed of yourself because this has replaced patriotism. It used to be when I was young, all my friends, no matter what color, we were all patriotic. But the schools were taken over by a disease, okay? You have people now that if they hear a different idea from theirs, they scream and cry. But now, like I was back to my point, the reason why I vote Republican is because the Democrats are going at 120 miles an hour and the Republicans are going at, I'd say, 30 miles an hour right now. The end result is the same: freedom of speech, the right to protect yourself. They don't want you to have this. Look what just happened in Canada. They're telling people to leave their key fobs to their cars by the front door. So when the criminal breaks into your house to steal your car, they can grab the car and just drive off. Because here's their reasoning: because these criminals have guns, because we just took your guns. So you can't defend yourself, and they expect you to give your things to a criminal. That's what's happening here in America. Same thing. If you can't see it, you're a special. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, the fact that the people of the United States have their right to keep and bear arms is the only thing right
yes,
now that's keeping them from taking away every other right you hold precious. Okay, so freedom of speech, and I mean, I saw this argument where this lady was saying that, well, you think that a human life is worth whatever your stuff is. It's not that they're coming in to take my stuff. I don't care about things, okay? Obviously, a human life is more precious to us than anything, than
correct.
anything, any particular thing. The problem is that when someone breaks into your house to steal your things, you don't know whether they're coming in with the intention to just take whatever they can and leave, or they want to kill you and damage your family, hurt your family, kill your children. They already made a decision before they walked into your door
Yep,
that they were going to commit a crime. They just don't know, because they're not planners like you are, how far they're going to take it. And it could be as far, and in actuality, as parents, as the keepers of our home, we have the responsibility to protect the lives of our children.
yep,
So if somebody walks into our house with the intent to steal, I don't know that that is all they intend to do. Okay,
correct. And I have children to
that's
protect.
right.
But it's like the media, other than this administration, the media is the number two enemy in this country because they don't tell you the truth and they outright lie, just like George Stephanopoulos did. In my opinion, he got on there and said that ex-President Trump was liable for rape, and that's not true. I have actually seen the jury polling. He was found not guilty of rape. He did not rape her. What he was literally found guilty of was saying that he didn't rape her.
Yeah.
And therein lies your justice system, this administration, and your media. They're telling lies. Now, they're feeding off a certain percentage of this population that wants to believe this. You're brainwashed. It's called Trump derangement syndrome. I don't care for President Trump at all. All right. But because I don't agree with you people, you're going to say I'm a mega person. And that's not true. All
The
right.
thing is, you have to ask
Yeah.
yourself, they um they have been making life almost impossible for a former president of the United States,
Yeah.
taking him to court, tying up all his funds,
Yeah.
doing okay.
They didn't do this to Bill
Wait.
Clinton.
No, no, no. But
Uh,
it's the former president of the United
yeah.
States, okay? What chance do you have
Think about
to
it.
ever have a fair trial on anything? Okay? They are undermining actually the legal system of this country from
Yep.
the top down.
It means
Yeah,
nothing.
no one else.
But
So that means they can do whatever they want to you, and you
Yeah.
can't complain.
They did not do this to Bill Clinton. Had the same thing. For years, they argued about documents. They did not do this to Barack Obama, who is still arguing about documents that he wants to put in his library. All right. They did not do this to the current president, who literally had no authority to have those documents because he was never president when he took classified documents. But they choose to do it to this guy. Therein lies the problem. You can't just selectively enforce laws. Because let me tell you, you guys are all out there with your protests and your colorful flags and everything. Once they get their way, they don't need you anymore. And you are going to be the first part of this country that they start persecuting. Why? Because most of you don't have jobs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Anyways, we have very little
Anyway,
time. Let's
yeah.
talk about the porn star.
Oh, yeah. The porn star. Look, that's so funny. Everybody is all oohing and gahing over her. Should I pause this to get more time, or can we do it in 10 minutes?
Well, if it dies, then we'll.
Okay, anyway. Yeah. Okay, I've seen her on this one show where she's sitting around. Okay, make no mistake about it.
The podcast, whatever.
Whatever, yeah.
That's the name of
But
it.
yeah. Anyway, yeah.
Because you say I've seen her in one show makes it sound like you watch her stuff.
No, I don't. I saw a clip of it. I've seen a few clips. Let me put it that way.
Of the show, whatever.
Okay. Anyway, and yeah, it's funny, right? She OnlyFans, big OnlyFans thing. Supposedly she made a whole bunch of money doing that. She went on that show, and now there's a video of her getting baptized, and she's claiming she's baptized. And as a Christian, I have to believe that. But as a Christian, I should also be skeptical, because one of the first things that a Christian woman learns is modesty. All right. It's in the Bible. Paul talks about it. It's not like it's a secret. You're not supposed to be like she is. Yet she gets on there all dialed up with the makeup and all of this stuff and quoting some Bible verses now. That doesn't make her a Christian. You should know a Christian by their deeds. So yeah, I'm real skeptical.
And there's people out there saying that she never took down her OnlyFans,
Yes.
that she never did this and that. And here's the thing about it, okay? Like he said, you'll know them by their fruits. And I saw a little clip of her on Twitter this morning talking about God and all of this stuff and things like that. And you know what? If she's saved, sometimes it does take a minute for things to kind of line up. But look, one of the first things that becoming a Christian does is makes you aware of your sin and ashamed of it. Okay.
Yes.
And so you'd have thought she'd be cleaning up her act quick as possible, because
yeah,
God changes your heart, and if you don't have a changed heart, then how can you be calling yourself a Christian? But look,
I have seen porn people out there that actually have found Christ and came to Christ, and when you look at them and compare them to her, it's a way different story.
And here's a cautionary tale, right? Like she had her, if I understand right, she had her OnlyFans monetized,
right?
And then she took down the paywall. But then what turns
the
out,
content stayed up
because Instagram owns your content
right.
after a while, right?
Yeah, something like that.
They own their stuff.
But she still charges $10 for private messages.
So I mean, dude.
Yeah. That's just what we heard.
Maybe
it was reported. The guy put up the thing, and yeah.
If it's true that she's, it's really for Christians, friends.
Yes.
If she found Jesus and she's in the process of changing her life and cleaning up her act, God bless her, and I hope that things turn out.
And I'm praying for her.
But Christians, stop being so all gushy about who turns Christian in the public eye. Who cares?
Yep.
You need to be looking at your own life. We look at our own lives, and hopefully we're walking with God every single step. But there's people like even Joe Rogan, and just all of a sudden he's running around saying, "Oh, we need more Jesus." Well, we've always need Jesus. This is
Oh,
not
it's
news.
funny. Somebody told me, what was it? Yeah. Somebody told me Kanye West is not a Christian no
Oh yeah,
more.
he said he's
Because he prayed and
prayed,
God didn't answer it.
like God is a genie that he's supposed to answer all your prayers.
Kanye West is a gazillionaire. What could he possibly have to pray about?
You know what? In all honesty, though, in the subject of prayer, real quick, there is things that happen.
Sometimes the answer is just no.
No. Sometimes the answer is not right now.
Or not, yeah.
Sometimes the answer is no. Sometimes it's later and better, and sometimes your prayers are not answered. It says on the Bible because your life is in sin, and therefore God won't answer those prayers.
Here's an amusing story. I don't know if we've ever told this, but we were stuck in California for a long time. And we had prayed and prayed and prayed. We needed this big 15-passenger van because we had children, a lot of children. We had grandparents and uncles and nephews and would all like to go places and stuff. And we had prayed for that forever. Finally, we had enough money built up in our house for equity. And then miraculously, the very van that my wife had been praying for, the exact model, the exact year, the exact everything, all of a sudden we bought it. We bought it cash to move back to Texas. Now that was a prime example of God heard our prayers, but he's like, not yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one day we might do our testimony, because I tell you, here's how you know that God has been working in your life. Look back in your life and look at your decisions that you made and see how God has been working in your life. He works in everybody's lives.
Yeah.
You just have to look back. I mean, Kanye West.
Yeah.
He got freed from Kim Kardashian.
Oof. Without becoming gay.
Yeah. He's had lots of money, lots of success, lots of all this time. And just to show you, the money does not buy you happiness.
Yeah.
Nothing does, okay? It's only the relationships that you form with God and your family and your friends.
Yeah.
They're the ones that are going to bring you joy.
Anyway, I have become more and more convinced that the only thing that's going to save portions of America would be a national divorce. Now, conservative people, Christian people, I guess what you would call people on the right, they tend to want this, okay? Because it's just, everything is rigged, all right? And it's just, the legal system, the voting, the way they're doing it, and all this, it's all rigged, right? Now, what you would call the blue pill people, they're dead set against this, and it infuriates them because they're bullies. For them, it's like they really don't care what it is. They just want to get their way. And they are prepared to destroy anybody that gets in their way of getting what they perceive to be what they want. All right. But yeah, it's the major cause of the Civil War was the same thing that we're having now. And I know people want to say slavery. Yeah, that was an issue, but that's not it. Culturally and morally, we are different. Take it away, my dear. You can have the last two.
I'm just saying, I'll bring it back to your Bible. Read your scripture. Everything we're doing now has been done before.
Yep.
And the answer to how to get out of this conundrum is in there. And it's a lot simpler than you think. Just turn your face to God, and he'll turn his face to you.
But I think this government needs to read the Constitution, all right? We were supposed to have a weak federal government and strong state governments. That is literally what the document says. Somehow, these people, because of money, the industrial war complex, or whatever you want to call it, they've switched it. But anyway, God bless.
God bless. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.